Should you buy the iPad Pro? The iPad Pro is Apple's high-end tablet computer. The latest iPad Pro models feature a powerful M1 chip, a Thunderbolt port, an improved front-facing camera, a Liquid Retina XDR mini LED display option on the larger model, and up to 16 GB of RAM and 2 TB of storage. Apple typically updates the iPad Pro every 12 to 18 months. There are two different iPad Pro models currently available. One has an 11-inch LED Liquid Retina display and a price starting at $799, while the other has a better 12.9-inch mini LED Liquid Retina XDR display and a price starting at $1,099. The 11-inch iPad Pro is the most portable iPad Pro option, also being thinner and lighter than its larger counterpart, whereas the 12.9-inch iPad Pro is the best option for entertainment and productivity tasks that can take advantage of the larger display. Other than screen size, the two iPad Pro models have different display technologies. Although they both support the same key features like 120 Hz ProMotion, P3 wide color, and True Tone, the 12.9-inch model has a mini LED display. This allows the larger iPad Pro to deliver up to 1000 nits of full screen brightness, 1600 nits of peak brightness, a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio with deeper blacks, and true-to-life HDR. Users who consume or create HDR content, or would simply prefer a better display, should opt for the 12.9-inch model. Beyond the screen size and display technology, the two iPad Pro models are identical. There is a $300 price difference between the smaller and larger model, so it is only worth getting the larger model if you can take advantage of the mini LED display or the larger screen. It is also worth noting that some accessories, such as the Magic Keyboard and Smart Keyboard Folio, are $20 to $50 more expensive for the larger model. The 2021 iPad Pro. Apple in April 2021 refreshed its iPad Pro lineup, introducing a faster M1 chip from the Mac, a Liquid Retina XDR display on the 12.9-inch model, 5 grams connectivity, a Thunderbolt port, and more. When it comes to design, the iPad Pro is unchanged, available in 11 and 12.9-inch sizes with an all-screen design and an edge-to-edge display that does not include a home button. Like the 2018 and 2020 iPad Pro models, the 2021 iPad Pro features a true A-depth camera system with Face ID that uses facial recognition for biometric authentication, but it now features an upgraded 12-megapixel front-facing camera for selfies. Both of the iPad Pro models feature an aluminum chassis in silver or space gray with flat, rounded edges that wrap around the Liquid Retina display. The 12.9-inch model features a new Liquid Retina XDR mini LED display, bringing extreme dynamic range to the iPad Pro for the first time. The Liquid Retina XDR uses more than 10,000 LEDs across the entire back of the display and can deliver up to 1000 nits of full-screen brightness, 1600 nits of peak brightness, a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, and true-to-life HDR to enhance creative workflows for a stunning visual experience. On the 11-inch model, the Liquid Retina display is unchanged from the 2020 model, featuring wide color support, true tone for adjusting to ambient light, an anti-reflective coating, and ProMotion 120 Hz refresh capabilities. The rear camera system remains the same with two cameras, including a 12-megapixel wide-angle camera and a 10-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera that can zoom out 2 times for a wider field of view, as well as a LiDAR scanner for AR experiences. The 2021 iPad Pro's front-facing True ADEPT camera gains center stage to follow a user around a room during video calls, extended dynamic range for video up to 30 fps, and a brighter True Tone flash. Inside, the 2021 iPad Pro is equipped with an M1 chip with the next-generation Neural Engine, featuring an 8-core CPU and an 8-core GPU. The M1 chip in the iPad Pro delivers up to 50% faster CPU performance than the previous A12Z Bionic. The 8-core GPU similarly delivers up to 40% faster GPU performance. The 2021 iPad Pro models have received no major design refreshes and continue to look like the 2018 and 2021 iPad Pro models. The 11-inch iPad Pro measures in at 9.74 inches long and 7.02 inches wide, while the 12.9-inch model measures in at 11.04 inches long and 8.46 inches wide, meaning that it is over an inch wider and taller than the smaller model. The 11-inch iPad Pro is 5.9 mm thick, while the 12.9-inch model is 6.4 mm thick. The 11-inch iPad Pro weighs in at 1.03 pounds and the 12.9-inch iPad Pro weighs 1.5 pounds. Apple offers the iPad Pro in either a silver or space gray aluminum finish. The 2020 iPad Pro models continue to feature an edge-to-edge display with 6 mm bezels at the top, bottom, and sides. Rather than smooth, tapered edges, the iPad Pro models feature industrial flat sides like the iPhone 12. There is no Touch-ID Home button, as the iPad Pro instead uses a True ADEPT camera system with facial recognition capabilities for biometric authentication. The True ADEPT camera is located in the top bezel of the iPad Pro. At the top of the iPad Pro, there's a sleep/wake button along with 2 speakers. On the right side, there are volume up and down buttons, a magnetic connector, and a nano SIM tray on cellular iPads. As with previous models, there is no headphone jack on the iPad Pro, and Bluetooth headphones or headphones that work with USB-C are required. The square-shaped camera bump housing a wide-angle camera, ultra-wide-angle camera, LiDAR scanner, and True Tone flash remains unchanged from the 2020 model. At the bottom of the iPad Pro there's a Thunderbolt USB 4 port for charging and connecting accessories. Thunderbolt allows the iPad Pro to connect to new Thunderbolt-only peripherals and transfer data at faster speeds, while still supporting standard USB-C accessories and cables like previous models. Display Mini LED Liquid Retina XDR display. The 12.9-inch iPad Pro features a brand new Mini LED display that Apple calls a Liquid Retina XDR display, with a resolution of 2732 by 2048 and 264 pixels per inch. The Liquid Retina XDR display brings extreme dynamic range to the iPad Pro, offering a stunning visual experience, with more true-to-life details and HDR. Apple's Mini LED display on the iPad Pro uses over 10,000 LEDs across the entire back of the display, creating up to 1,000 nits of full-screen brightness, 1,600 nits of peak brightness, and a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. This captures the brightest highlights and subtle details in even the darkest images, allowing creatives to view and edit true-to-life HDR content on a large, portable display. The Liquid Retina XDR display continues to feature display technologies from the previous iPad Pro, including 120 Hz ProMotion, True Tone, and P3 wide color support. LED Liquid Retina display. The 11-inch iPad Pro continues to feature the same LED Liquid Retina display as the 2020 model. The 11-inch iPad Pro features a resolution of 2388 by 1668 with 264 pixels per inch. The display can deliver up to 600 nits brightness with just 1.8% reflectivity. It continues to have an anti-reflective and fingerprint-resistant coating. Wide color support ensures rich, vivid colors that are true to life and accurate, while True Tone adjusts the display to match the white balance of the lighting in the room to make the screen easier on the eyes. ProMotion display technology with a 120 Hz display refresh rate is included, which makes content in motion on the screen smoother, crisper, and more responsive for scrolling, gaming, watching movies, and more. The iPad Pro's display refresh rate is dynamic and can change depending on what is on screen as a battery-saving measure. When watching a movie or playing a game, the refresh rate is at 120 Hz, but when reading a web page or looking at a photo, a 120 Hz refresh rate is not needed, so it adjusts accordingly. Face ID and True ADEPT camera system. Instead of authenticating and unlocking through a Touch ID fingerprint system, the iPad Pro uses the Face ID feature that Apple has been adding to its products since 2017. Face ID does all of the same things that Touch ID does, like unlocking your iPad, allowing access to third-party passcode-protected apps, confirming purchases, and authenticating Apple Pay payments. Face ID uses sensors and cameras built into the top bezel of the iPad Pro, and Apple calls its multi-component setup the True ADEPT camera. To create the scan of your face that is used for authentication purposes, a dot projector projects over 30,000 invisible infrared dots onto your face. Microphones and speakers. There are 5 studio-quality microphones included in the iPad Pro for capturing super clean audio and the quietest details. Apple has also equipped the iPad Pro with a 4-speaker audio setup that adjusts sound to any orientation. There are 2 speakers at the top of the iPad and 2 speakers at the bottom, enabling stereo sound.